Hey everybody, this is Larry, doing Leetcode Biweekly Contest 23. Um, yeah, just, hope everyone's having a good week, and yeah, wish me luck. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And if you like this, hit the like button, subscribe button, whatever button. And also make sure you use the link below to go to different parts of the video. I think near the end, I usually go over the solutions. So if you're here just for the solution, click ahead and I will try to describe them. Anyway, 5 seconds. So, wish me luck. And here we go. The first one. Uh, yeah. I mean, as soon as I saw this, I knew how to do it. Um, I mean, in the sense that the problem tells you exactly what you need to do. I spent a minute and 46 seconds on this, which is actually for me, a little bit on the slow side. But actually, if you looking at the top score, I was pretty quick on it. Um, like, actually, might be one of the fastest time. I mean, not the fastest time, but one of the fastest time in a minute and 46 seconds. So I was pretty happy about that. But uh, but but yeah. But yeah. This is just type it out, and I was pretty fast about it. Uh, but yeah. Okay, Q2. Oh, well, not yet, but sniffles. Construct K palindrome string. So this one, I have a lot of issues with. A little bit spoiler alert. Well, okay, maybe no spoiler alert. But I was reading this. I was just thinking about it. I think my problem here is that I jumped into code a little bit too quickly, which you'll see in a second. I think what happened was that I looked at the k equals 2 case, and I generalized it in my head without really thinking about it. And I think some of this is also the Leetcode format, in the sense that in Leetcode you have to solve them really fast because everyone else is really fast. So I just watched it a little bit to try to do well. Um, but I definitely made mistakes here. I thought that I was doing something in my head where I distributed them around it, but it really made no sense now that I think about it now. And worse yet, um, and worse is that I didn't really. So okay, the first one also I was just super dumb because when I went in for it, well, okay, this one is actually wrong, but like there's no way that was right anyway. So I don't know what I was thinking here, to be honest. I really need to slow down a little bit. I had plenty of time, and looking back at the scores, like like I had more time than I really thought I did on my mental clock. Because it's not a hard problem, but it's not a easy problem. I mean, it requires some thought, and I rushed through it. Um, so I thought that I could, oh yeah, maybe keep track of the number you used, and if and I made one. So I thought a way of like distributing it like a ring, like around the k different strings, but that didn't really make sense, to be honest, looking back. And I don't know. Some days you're just way too overconfident for some reason, even on stuff that doesn't make any sense looking back. Uh, but but that's the thing with this is that the code doesn't care if you're confident or not. It's just it's right or not. And I don't know why I submit on this because it actually is wrong on the last example, um, which is kind of really embarrassing. I misread the results, and this is where one of those things where also where I hate the contest display format because usually when you do Leetcode, it's like on the left and on the right, and then you could kind of see, like, I know that doesn't compare the expected answer for you, but at least you could scroll down and look at them easier. Here for contests, I usually take a look, try to memorize it, and then do it. But yeah, and then I try to fix it. Well, clearly I missed that one case, but this was not enough. Yeah, so I rushed again. This is only 4 minutes in. I still have plenty of time to get this right, but I was being stubborn and done. But yeah, so I try to think a little bit whether I could hack it. But then I don't know. These hacks never work. Or maybe not never, because if it actually never worked, then I wouldn't have done it. But yeah, I ran code again and again. I forgot one of the obvious cases. Here I did try to do some attempt to add more examples. So um,
Oh my.
but yeah, I mean, I did not take account of one case, the k equals one case, which should have been obvious. But that was a great hint in what my thing was wrong. And also just in general, I was like, okay.
You need a different algorithm.
Yeah, you hear Larry here, and he was like, well, let's actually step back and think about what the question is asking. Like I mean, it took 3 wrong answers, which is 15 minutes in penalties. But I was like, okay, all right, let's 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 think about what is actually a palindrome and what's doing wrong, right?
I don't know, because it's two.
That's essentially what I do right now. Like really, really forcing myself to slow down.
Trying to rush it through too much.
Yeah, now I test those cases. And I'm like, okay. The idea now was that I just keep the count the number of odds, so then you distribute them. Because if it's not odd, then because if it's even, then you could just put it anywhere really. And then the last thing is just to make sure that you have enough strings, because then you can put them anywhere. But oh, that's mostly it. Anyway, Q3, circle and rectangle overlapping. Yeah, this one, it's one of those things that definitely people have library for, but Um, yeah, I mean, to be honest, this is one of those problems where as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay. Well, one is that the top competitors will already have a library for it, so they will do it very quick. So I'm like, that's a little sad. But here the thing that I want to mention or notice that I mentioned was mentioned that I noticed is that these are all axis aligned for the rectangle. So I thought maybe I could do some special case. So I think right now I was mentally preparing all the different cases because you could enumerate all the cases in which they intersect, and I was trying to do that in my head a little bit, but I missed it. As you'll see, I missed a couple. Yeah. Well, overall, this is a way I want to say is a standard geometry problem, but um, but it's not something that I practiced on recently. So it's one of those problems you're like, this should be easy, but it's not for me. But it is what it is sometimes, and that's what these contests get you some right. It's practice, and it's getting slightly better. Uh, just looking at my results, and if oh well. Yeah, right now I'm just checking the given a circle, uh, check the point that's on top of the circle, the left, right, and left, up, down, left, right point in the most of that circle, and then check to see if that's inside the rectangle. Um, hmm. Yeah. Um, yeah, and also check the four corners. Um, yeah, though I made a really silly mistake here with the corner check. I might make another mistake, so this wasn't going to be right anyway. But I should have. This mistake was kind of dumb because I reused the same uh, delta that's or D array that's from on top, but I wanted them to be different things, and they do. It's like if you're using the knight's move for a bishop, well, things are going to be wrong, and that's essentially what I did. But almost unfortunately, in a weird way, as I always say, sometimes you get the example right because the results are binary, and that gives you a confidence that like maybe it's right. Um, but I have a but that typo was kind of 5 minutes worth. I mean, I still get the wrong answer, but 5 minute penalties, 5 minute penalty, and they seem to add up. So this was just a really silly, reckless, like sloppy. Like I should have done better on this one or this particular submission. Um, and then I was like, okay, let's get a pen and paper, let's draw it out. It's like, no, this should be right. Why is this wrong? And then I print out debug bit.
It's been a long time.
But yeah, so I do the debug print statements. Really easy to do in Python. And then I was like, 20? 20 shouldn't be one of the corners I check. Oh, wait, no, that's... No, 20 is one of the corners I check. Oh, wait, no, it shouldn't be. So, because I was expecting that if I was missing a case, I would give a false instead of a true, and not a true instead of a false. If I do true instead of a false, which is what happened, if there's wrong answer, that means I did something silly. And I was like, wait, did I get the formula wrong? And then I was like, oh, yeah, you dummy. Yeah. And then I submit again, but I missed one more case, unfortunately. Wow, I'm only at
submitted again.
16 minutes right now.
These shortcuts are ridiculous.
With a lot of penalties. I actually end up spending another 10 minutes on this. So some things that I could have done was I should have been, well, one is not being lazy. I was debating how to attack this problem. I was also just looking to see well, I messed up with the test case there, and it refreshed everything. So that was kind of sad. But I wish I've gotten this 10 minutes earlier, like about now, because I ended up spending 10 minutes on this. But I hesitated a little bit on drawing out what the case is, because I was just trying to play around with it, with what the case is. I was like, okay, so this is false. That means the real answer is true. That means I'm missing a case. That's essentially what I'm thinking.
Oh, because it's encompassing.
But I didn't do that. So I think if I had taken a pen and paper and draw it out, then it would have been really obvious. And I guess now I started to learn. Okay, maybe not. I do at some point start drawing it out. I was like, should I draw it out? Should I not? Am I missing a case? Is that the case I'm missing? I don't know. Yeah, those are my thoughts right now.
Still too odd to pause.
And I thought maybe that I was actually trying to debug another case, thinking that maybe there was something with that particular case where the circle is within the square in some weird way. But that didn't make sense because I actually have a case for that. But that's what I was trying to do. Because I did take care of that case.
Is this the case?
But yeah, now I'm printing things out. And I was just debugging. I spent way too long debugging this other case when I should have really just take a piece of pen and paper and visualize it. I was also thinking of trying to figure out a way to visualize this in an easy way. Maybe like put it on paint or something, but I end up not. I'm like, okay, this is force. Why is that force? Well, I mean, all the numbers make sense, so yeah. So now I finally take a pen and paper and like transcribe it to see the case that I'm getting wrong, which is also a luxury that, to be honest, that Leetcode's platform allow you. Because on other contest platforms they wouldn't give you your wrong answer. So by you I mean me. I would spend a lot longer on trying to figure out the case which isn't an issue instead of just drawing it out. And once I draw it out, I guess I solved this in not that fast either. Well, because I was debating how to actually implement it, but so Larry does do an ASCII art later. So uh, so you could kind of skip to the end if you want an explanation. But basically, it was the issue is that in my case is that I have a square, or no, the other way around. I have a circle and then a square that is like intersecting in a way that doesn't hit any of the points. So the way that I fixed it is by drawing a line segment from the center of the circle to one of the four directions, and then do a line intersection from that. Uh, but I was also trying to think a little bit of if there are additional cases that I'm, don't have, but yeah. So I should have just done the math. Yeah, now I think I'm just still drawing it out and trying to figure it a little bit. Also, need a haircut because I've been in quarantine and haven't gotten it again. Getting a haircut. Seems like that's definitely true. If this intersects. Yeah, and now I'm finding just thinking about how to write this this line segment intersection thing. I took my time a little bit because I was like, oh wait, these doesn't have to be like you don't know which one is the min or the max, like which one is the lower and which one's the higher and so forth. So I was like, oh, I haven't coded these things in a while, so definitely a lot rusty. So yeah, so it could be one of those two things with either one of the intersection. So basically, you have a line intersection. That's what I do here. On the top line or the bottom line, and then also the simple case. I actually make a mistake on the copy and paste, and for this, I am actually thankful that I get the wrong answer for this problem because I could imagine myself getting the right answer, or yeah, the correct answer, but like just by accident, and then submit and be like, oh, this stupid typo that also cost me more. So I'm very happy that this actually did not pass because that would have been expensive, or another 5 minutes. But I was like, oh, this is. I was like, oh, why did I get this wrong? This looks pretty okay. Like I don't know if I'm missing another case, but then luckily I think I spotted it. I spotted it here-ish. Oh, I guess I don't yet. I was like trying to print out which if statement. I'm like, okay, well, it's not there, so it's on the other one. Okay, so then why are those not returning true? I was like, I'm like, oh, what a silly mistake. That only cost me a couple of minutes, which it is what it is. And then after that's fixed, I was like, okay, maybe that's good enough. Let's make sure that it still works for the before set. It looks like it is. So then I think I submit now after taking out a print statement. I'm like, ah, what a silly mistake. So reduce dishes.
People are really fast and I'm really slow.
I think I spent some time reading this,
okay. It is what it is.
but not that long because yeah, I think as soon as I read this, I knew the idea of how I want to do it, kind of. I thought that there are only a couple of possibilities. One is maybe some sort of sorting and greedy. I think the thing that I was like, oh, what is the tricky part? Is that you can remove dishes and not use them. But that the time component, and I'll try. I think from reading, I'll try to figure out where the time component comes from. Uh, and it seems like it just takes one unit of time. You start at 0 or 1, I guess technically. So I knew immediately that I needed to sort because greedy seems to make sense. And then I think about here, I was like, okay, I think I have a dynamic programming solution, but it's going to be n squared. So what is n? N is 500. Okay, that's good. Actually, I think for a brief second I thought it was going to be 1,000 because of the 10 equals to it. So I immediately try to do the memorization. I like time and index. Now that it's sorted, put up the LU cache, and I pretty much list out the two cases, which is well, at any given time step, you can either consume this current object or you don't consume this current object. And that's pretty much all I do. And then I got it right pretty much on the first try. I think the only thing that I was missing was the first dish has a times of 1 instead of 0. So once I fix that, that's pretty much it. And I do explain this problem a little bit later on, so my current commentary may not have time to explain it because I type it pretty quickly, relatively. But yeah, anyway, thanks for the live commentary. Stay tuned for the other Larry's chat and maybe explanation. And hopefully I see, well, stay on. So Oh, close. Oh, start with 1. Of course, ironically, the fastest one I got is the hardest one, quote unquote. Yeah, not surprised at these things, but I got this in 3 minutes, and I struggled with the other few ones. Wow, congrats, Save. Okay. So yeah, this is going to be a terrible tiebreaker. Oh man, a lot of people solved that one first, which probably makes sense. But the resubmission on this is going to be 25-minute penalty is a long time, so it is what it is. Looks like I'm going to be at. I mean, I'm not going to make top 100. Put it that way. This one, I mean, even to some degree, I'm okay with this. Because geometry is something that I probably could have worked better on, but this one hurts. I just didn't really think about it. I took some intuitive shortcuts and I didn't think about it that much. Okay, let's go over the problems real quick. Count largest group. Yeah, so this one, it is what it sounds like. You just count the largest group. You go from 1 to n, you calculate the digit sum, and then you group them together, and that's what I did. I keep track of the max, which is the largest group, and then I go through again to count how many things are in that group. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, so this is my code. If you want to take a real quick. Yeah. Go really fast. I don't know. This one, I mean, this one I was just being dumb on. I think I didn't think about it. I think I was on intuition too much, to be honest. I was just like, oh, because well, I think what I did was I solved it for the k equals 2 case, and then I generalized a little bit in my head without really proving it. And that's pretty much what happened. I think what I end up writing once I stepped back to think about it, and I really had a lot of time because even before the thinking about it, quote unquote, it only took me 6 minutes, which is not fast, but it's not that slow. I think I just try to rush it too much because I don't know. Sometimes you just get into those grooves where you rush it too much, but yeah, I mean, sometimes your intuition does well for you, and sometimes it fails you. In this case, it failed me a little bit. I think once I stepped back, I thought, okay, what is the question actually? Okay, so you have, as long as you have given numbers, you can distribute it however you like. So you have to count the number of odds, and as long as the number of odds are less than k, then you're okay, because you just have just one odd character in each of those in that, and you have to keep track that length of s is less than k. I also gave away 5 minutes because when I went to test, I misread the answer for one of them, which is, I don't know, just dumb. Yeah, it turns out you didn't really need k except for at the if statement. I thought that I was thinking in my head some sort of way to kind of distribute it around the k. I think that's why I did mod k, because that's how I did my first one. But I think, like I said, I think I was generalizing. Well, first of all, I rushed it too much. I need to slow down. I think for some reason, I just thought maybe I'm having a good day mentally, and then I rushed it with my intuition. But what I needed to do was slow down. And once I slowed down, I was like, okay, what's the question really asking? And then that's essentially what I got here. Okay, the circle and rectangle overlap. There's only like a number of cases because these are axis aligned. And what that means is that, they're, for the rectangle, it's it's vertical, so there's no like weird rotations. I think the case that I was missing, and I don't know if I could draw that easily. So the case that I was missing initially, why did I have two submits? I forget. Actually, give me a second. What was it? Oh yeah, well the first one was just dumb. I reused the delta array, or whatever you want to call it, because this is a thing, and I just forgot about it. Where and because I used the same variable name, it didn't complain that I didn't declare it. But basically, this is just a way to get one of the four corners of the rectangle, and this is just to get the circle. And my algorithm was okay. Given a circle, either. I actually didn't check the center, did I? But yeah, either one of the given a circle, the top, down, left, right point is inside the rectangle, or one of the four corner points of the rectangle. I could win this differently too, but one of the 4 points of the rectangle is inside the circle. So only case that that's not true, which I forgot about or just didn't think about it, and that's why I implement this stuff here, is if you have, I don't know how to ASCII art very well, but let's say this is your rectangle, and this is your circle. This is the top of the circle. ASCII art's going to be hard, so just pretend this is a circle, and then something like that, right? Oops. Yeah, so that in this case, I mean, it's a bad ASCII art, but this point is not inside the rectangle, and the rectangle 4 points are not. So I added a thing where, well, just checks for this case, assuming that its axis aligned, and that passed the test. But at that point, I was a little bit slower because I keep making silly mistakes today and wasn't confident about it by this point. Because I mean, at this point, I have 5 wrong submits, right? So yeah, and the ranking isn't updating, but that's fine. I mean, it's going to be really slow because everyone has half an hour to catch up in tiebreaker. Like in theory, if I had finished even 40 minutes in, that would have been done here. But I still have another 15 minutes from this one, which that one I feel really bad about. So yeah, so this is only 37 minutes in, so I have 18 minutes to really clear all the top scores. But yeah, reducing dishes. So this is the one that ironically I did in like 3 minutes or maybe even shorter, depending on how you want to call it. And the only issue I had was that I started at 0 instead of 1. But yeah, so there's some sort of greedy here which allows you to sort. And once you sort, you only have two options, right? Whether, given the current time, you either use this dish, which gives you the score, or you don't use this dish at this time and you just increment only the index. Yeah, and this is n squared where n is 500, so it's going to run way enough. Yeah, and you could, maybe I could explain this a little bit more, but yeah, let me think about it. So yeah, the decision is, well, and also the best is 0, because if you, for some reason, get negative, but you shouldn't, because I think this path will always give you 0 no matter what anyway. But basically, this path is to, yeah, in this current time, you take this element and then you use it, you consume it, or you cook it, I think. And then this one, you just, okay, so we have an increment time, and then you just go to the x index, and the part that lets you do this is the greedy that you get from sorting. So that's pretty much it. Yeah. Overall, so solved it in 3 minutes, which is kind of sad in the sense that I mean, I'm sure a lot of people did it fast. Like yeah, like say VMK did it quickly. A lot of and actually like like my hard time. I mean, some consolation, and I'm just trying to look for consolations to be happy here. Right. So play along with me. I know that maybe it's you know it's a little hand wavy or whatever. But if you look at all these, like timing for just the last problem, like I complete pretty well, which is sometimes all you get. Well, this is actually pretty well. It's only did it first, but sometimes that's all you can ask for. Like though I would also say a lot of people took more time with problem C than D. I say three and four, but yeah. So this is a pretty straightforward dynamic program problem, and I think the problem with C is that at least for me is that a lot of the good prepared competitive programmers will have a library for this. This is a very standard thing to have a library for. If you're that intense and hardcore about it, which I don't know. Uh, Even in the general case, so it doesn't even have to be axis aligned. Yeah, I mean this one I was just dumb. Like like this is a good excuse for C, but this one I have no excuse. That's just me being dumb. I didn't really think about a problem. I took the k equals 2 case and then I generalized it in the wrong direction, and I wasn't really thinking about it before I submit. I don't know why I did that. Some days you're a little reckless, and some days you look back and like, what was I doing? So, and this is one of those days. So yeah, all right. Thanks for watching. That's what I have. And yeah, leave a comment, leave a like, leave a subscribe. See you on the next competition, which hopefully is in 12 hours or whatever it is. Bye bye.